America has a problem with education is a phrase I'm sure you've heard in the past with a multitude of reasons for support. Some accuse the students of lackadaisical effort in the classroom, whilst others point to the education system as a whole, stating that individuals are being prepared for factory work, not the modern world. However, one problem that affects every single part of the education system is the shortage of teachers. Schools are having a consistent issue maintaining teachers, as more are leaving the profession than entering it. Teachers experience constant stress to maintain a job that just doesn't pay well. The teacher shortage seen across American schools is due to high stress associated with the position, a lack of competitive salaries, and the high turnover of educational positions. First off, teaching is a highly stressful and demanding job. The position requires constant work with less breaks than what the students receive. Without question, teachers are doing one of the hardest jobs on earth, with the lack of resources that they are provided and the children they must put up with. Even at Huntington, the stress teachers are put under can be observed. In your opinion, is the stress from teaching worth the salary?
Most days, no. The stress is not worth the salary.
Well, I guess I don't have to ask this whole question. How do you manage the stress from teaching?
Most people that I know, and me included, end up on mental health medications to help with stress, anxiety, depression, and to be able to cope with every day.
As mentioned by the faculty member, medication, specifically antidepressants, is commonplace among those who work in the teaching field due to the stress associated with the position. According to the American Educational Research Association, the authors found that U.S. teachers were 40% more likely to report anxiety symptoms than healthcare workers, 20% more likely than office workers, and 30% more likely than workers in other occupations such as military, farming, and legal professions. 2022. This research, which was done in response to the COVID-19 epidemic, shows that teachers often deal with more stress in situations when scheduling goes awry, showing the anxiety-filled nature of the position. For a position that deals with stress this commonly, you would expect fair compensation in return. However, this completely reasonable assumption is also completely false. Despite teachers dealing with copious amounts of stress daily, they aren't able to wipe their sweat with dollar bills. Throughout the states, teaching sees a consistently low pay, especially in comparison to that of other stressful jobs. According to technology.org, teachers are the 10th most stressful job in America, ranking among jobs like physicians and police officers. However, these positions tend to pay a larger salary than the teachers, with teachers only making around $63,100 on average as of 2024, according to usfacts.org. As we wanted to get a teacher's view on the matter, we talked to Mr. Phillips, who described his dissatisfaction with teacher salaries.
Why do you think the teacher shortage is occurring in America?
I think one of the big issues is the pay. When you look at, if you want to become a teacher here in the United States, if you want to become a teacher here in the United States, your salary versus like going to Kenworth and working, you're going to make an extra $30,000 or $40,000 at Kenworth teaching, and I think that's one of the big issues. But I also think there's a shortage in a lot of different sectors of our economy right now, so it's not just teaching.
Okay. Do you think the salary is fair for teaching, based on everything you guys do?
I would say no. I think it needs to be higher, obviously. And once you get towards the end of your career, I think it's pretty fair. But starting out, I don't think it's fair at all. And people look at it as you don't work summers and things like that, but most teachers are putting in time during summer, so it's more than your hours of actually being here physically.
Furthermore, our anonymous interviewee explained more about the issue with teacher salaries, taking into account that they are the ones teaching the doctors of the future. How comfortable are you with your current salary as a teacher?
I believe that the pay should be more equivalent to other professions, like doctors, and we're teaching the doctors.
Even in states with a higher average teacher salary, it doesn't even compare to the lowest paying doctor salaries. According to NEA's 2025 educator pay data, California ranks #1 nationally, with an average teacher salary of $101,000. In comparison, physicians in Rhode Island, which ranks last in average pay for the position, earns roughly $200,000 annually. Indeed.com 2026. This disparity supports the notion that teachers need a higher salary, as the individuals that they are educating make significantly more money than they do. As a result of these factors, it is no surprise that fewer and fewer people are going into the profession, with many leaving the job entirely as well.
Go.
Hold on. Staff turnover has been a recurring issue following the issues stated previously. In recent years, more teachers have actually left the position, whether through retirement or quitting, as opposed to joining it. This issue has been the direct cause of many problems with education. According to Amanda Vilas, by mid-2025, over 410,000 K-12 teaching positions will either be vacant or filled by educators lacking full certification, approximately 1 in 8 teaching jobs nationwide, 2025. Without qualified teachers, or teachers at all, the education system is destined to struggle and fail. In addition to this, many teachers are leaving their jobs before retirement age, causing a greater lack of instructors. Learning Policy Institute, 2025. This fact has had disastrous consequences for the education of students and their comprehension of material, even locally at Huntington. To discuss this, we talked to Huntington High School student and National Honor Society member Cooper Cantrell to learn more about the impact of the teacher shortage on his and others' educations.
Has the teacher shortage affected your education personally?
I would say so, especially with Huntington High School's Spanish teacher. There's the big issue of the fact that her contract had to be changed because we physically could not find another Spanish teacher. The school could not find one. There's a shortage of foreign language teachers in that way. I think that's because of different things that are going on in the world, but also because there's just a general de-emphasis on teachers as a whole in society.
Have you experienced any additional stress from the lack of teachers or like the lack of qualifications or things like that?
I think it's hard on students as a whole when you don't have a steady teacher. If you have teachers who have to take days off and they have to take on a sub, and it's hard when that sub is, say you have an English sub who was an English teacher for 20 years, so they're coming in and they're teaching history. They don't really know what they're doing. There's a lot less people who are good at subbing and good at teaching as a whole that are consistent and able to stay in that field. So it gets hard whenever you don't really have that conduit there. But overall I'd say it is a little stressful, but I think that's just kind of the trade-off.
As stated by Mr. Cantrell, students are being impacted at Huntington by the lack of a constant Spanish teacher, with the real teacher only being available on specific days with substitutes filling in on others. This has caused students to fall behind and receive less in-depth instruction. Despite the need for teachers, it is unsurprising the occupation is struggling due to the other factors discussed in this documentary. In conclusion, the teacher shortage is occurring due to a multitude of factors, including stress, salary, and staff turnover. Without policies being put into place to change these issues, it is hard to see them being solved naturally. The struggle to keep teachers in classrooms, and get new ones as well, affects the future of every child across America. After all, according to Wilma Mankiller, whoever controls the education of our children controls our future. Thank you.
I want to answer that question.
Now I'm recording.
Why do you think teacher shortage? Okay. I'm gonna ask you a very basic question to start with. What do you think of the teacher shortage in America right now?
I think it's... My bad, I got really distracted. Take 2, let's start.
Go.
Hold on. You okay? Nope. Do it while I was walking.
Go.
Hold on. Okay. I just gotta do it one sentence at a time, probably.
Can you recite that back for me?
America has a problem with education, America has a problem with education is a phrase I'm sure you've heard in the past with a multitude of reasons and support. America has a problem with education is a phrase I'm sure you've heard in the past with a multitude of reasons and support.
How do I flip this?
Hit that button that flips it.
There's a button?
You can't flip it while it's recording. Tell me when you're recording. The teacher shortage seen across America, alright, just keep recording, it's fine. The teacher shortage seen across America's in school. The teacher shortage seen across America.
Go.
Hold on.
That's the sound of the birds over there.
Oh.
I wanted to watch them like swoop up again, but it's not happening. Go.
Hold on.
So, considering you're a teacher now, if you could go back to your younger self and go back to college, would you still continue to be a teacher, or would you choose a different path that may have pay you more money or respect you more?
You can't possibly respect me more. Look at how people respect me around here. Is that bad to put in there?
No, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Okay,